I'm back with a follow-up video regarding engineered disasters and engineered disasters by the numbers. And I chose to focus on the Hurricane Helene, which hit, as we all know, September 26, 2024. I know that there was another hurricane by the same name, but I don't think it went back as far as 1958. I'm focusing on the 1958 version of Helene because I am convinced that the operators of this system that we're in used this year, knowing 66 years later they would repeat Helene, but in a take a slightly different pattern, but yet wind up at the original target area as the 1958 hurricane was, I believe, was originally targeted for. And not to read this entire paragraph, it was 1958 Atlantic hurricane season. It was, I believe it said this was the fourth hurricane of that year. And the intensity raised it to a Cat 4 on September 26th of 1958. Before it subsequently reached its peak intensity with maximum sustained winds 150 miles per hour and the barometric pressure at 930 millibars. There's a 9.3. I'm going to skip down a little bit. The intense hurricane came within 10 miles of Cape Fear, North Carolina. So there you go. The target in 1958 was North Carolina, and the hurricane weakened and it transitioned into a extra tropical cyclone. So I'm not going to go into the details of the damage during that time. It's not the point of the video. The point of the video is to fast forward 66 years. The relevance of the numbers, the number 66, obviously. 66 books of the Bible. It teeters on 666. But for the next few minutes, I'm going to focus on the date of the landfall, where it reached Florida, and then the next few days trekked northeast overland. Of course, hurricanes can now sustain damaging winds due to the approved methods of overall weather modification improvements, for lack of a better term. Now, the significant date of September 26th, if we break this down with the numbers that I have pointed out in my recent videos, the September being the ninth month, 26 days, the 26th day within the ninth month, you can break that down to 9, 8. You got your 9 and your 8, and there's 9, 8, there's your 17, as I have pointed out prior videos. The number 17, as it is deciphered from the XI, 17 is a number of demise. Okay. 17, number of demise, and it is the 269th day of the year. There you have your 269. It's just reversed within the numbering, how it's laid out. 269 is reversed. Just put the 9 in front of the 26, and you have your date repeated. You have the ninth month, the 26th day out of the 269. There's the coding. You have September 26th being the 269th day. There's a double message that this is a targeted date. This is purposeful. The controllers, the watchers, typically will have numerical meaning within the activity that they participate in. They leave it like clues for those of us who will take the time to decipher it, to figure it out, to determine that yes, this is all meant to be. This is a planned event. This is a strategy. And there are 96 days remaining until the end of the year. So there's your overall. You have 9s, 6, 6, 9s. Okay. There are 96 days of the year. That's deciphered as 9 plus 6, 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. There's your 6. Out of the 96 days remaining, we decipher that number can be deciphered as 6. So you have 66 years between the two dates of the hurricane event from 1958, 2024. And you have the 96 days remaining. There's your extra 6. So there is your 666. And one may ask, okay, man, come on. Why are you going through this process? This is going somewhere. Just stick with me. Now, as I pull up this very handy app where you can calculate days between two dates. So I obviously will pull up September 26th of 58 as it relates to September 26th of 2024. The September 26th of 1958 occurred on a Friday. And of course, the same date of 2024 occurred on a Thursday. So if you count the number of days between the Friday over the Thursday, you'll have 6 days. So there's the 6, the third 6 that goes along with the 66 years, as you can see down there. So it's been 66 years, and the differential between the Friday and the Thursday of the 2 years, it got 6 days. So there's your 666. Now the number of days, 24,107 days. These numbers, 24,107, can be deciphered as 68. Of course, rearrange the 68 and you get 86. 286. Need to explain what that means. 286, something means two. It's a demise. It's a number of demise. I think we all know that. So there's the relevance of, again, the 2 dates of 66 years time span, how it's all broken down purposefully for basically a ritual disaster. Now to follow up, I want to point out the number of weeks that it equates to the 66 years. It's 3,443 weeks and 6 days. Now, this can be deciphered as 9/11. Okay, you take your 3 at the end of the 3443, add it to the 6, there's your 9, and then you get your 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11. The relevance of 9/11, Revelation chapter 9, verse 11, references Apollyon, Abaddon, coming from the bottomless pit, the angel of the pit. It all suggests this, the eighth kingdom. The eighth kingdom is the beast. The beast is the angel of the bottomless pit. It's my interpretation. It all coincides with this subject matter that I am obviously speaking of. The beast is definitely responsible for the demise of USA Inc., otherwise known as Mystery Babylon the Great. So that, I just wanted to point that out, how the weeks decipher as 9/11. Now I want to focus on the year 1958. The number 58 is another number, in my opinion, that is associated with demise. If we go to the book of Jasher and go to chapter 6, verse 39, the book of Jasher, I got the imagery here. I'm going to read verse 39, and it is referencing the flood. the ark has rested on dry land, and they are waiting instructions to exit the ark. At that time, on the 27th day, the second month, the earth was dry, but Noah and his sons and those that were with him did not go out from the ark until the Lord told them. Now, this is all obviously in relation to a destruction. The world was destroyed. And now on the 58th day, they are awaiting the word to exit the ark. But it was on this day where the ark set on dry land. So you look at Jasher chapter 6 verse 39. There is your 369. Verse 39 in chapter 6. There's your combination. I want to kind of focus on that whole 369 combination as it relates to this character known as Tesla. Nicholas Tesla. Is it Nicholas or Nikola? Last name is Tesla. The famous Tesla cars, alternating current, so on and so forth. If he was indeed a real person, he's responsible for all this cool technology, or somewhat responsible. Very debatable. The empire of the Tartarians obviously had this technology way before USA Inc. even came to be. But I digress. All right. But the whole Tesla's theory on the importance of the 369 combination. And as you can see, this imagery, the images I have here. Unlocking the Secrets 369, understanding Tesla's theory of numbers, key to the universe. Now, the universe, what they're really referring to is most people don't understand when they refer to universe. They want us to believe of the expanding galaxies and the make-believe fantasy world of planet Earth and all the endless galaxies expanding, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, they are referring to the simulation. The universe in their mind is actually the simulation. It's the matrix. And Tesla, this character known as Tesla, according to the narrative, figured out through the use of understanding the number sequence of 369, you can control this universe, as they put it. But again, the universe is the matrix. I'm going to read just a little bit here. Tesla was particularly intrigued by the number 369, which he believed held the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. According to Tesla, these numbers form the fundamental building blocks of the universe and had a profound impact on everything from energy, frequency, to the structure of matter itself. Again, this would apply to Satan's simulated world. I referenced the book of Jasher several times, how Satan created a fake brook. I believe all the simulated creations as it relates to the physical realm. It would take a dark spiritual energy to create a simulation. This is just my opinion. It would involve numbers. And the numbers, obviously, which are being used to pull off this simulated reality, according to Tesla, it would be the combination of 369. I'm not going to sit here and claim that I know how to jack with the matrix, so to speak. I wish I did, because I want to bring this thing down. I want to help bring it down, and I believe in bringing it down is the equivalent of preaching the gospel of the kingdom. Because in order to bring the simulation down, if it exists, and I think it does, obviously, it would involve preaching of a real reality, which involves a real kingdom of heaven above the firmament. Okay, now with that being said, I had some fun dealing with the number 369 and all the different combinations. I I wanted to read something else before I got to showing my calculator. Yes, Tesla beliefs about 369 are often referred to as his code of manifestation. He believed that by understanding, I already read that. The code of manifestation is basically what I was getting at. Now, I believe there's definitely some relevance to that. The repetitive visuals of this combination of numbers definitely occurs in my life. I went over that in the video. A calculator that you can use to put your name in to get your birth number, so-called birth numbers, according to the system's narrative. My birth numbers happen to be 369 or the 963. It's a combination of these three numbers. I'm not saying that makes me an extraordinary person, but it definitely has seemed to have put me on a path of being an investigator and having certain things revealed. I cannot begin to tell you some of the things that I have been a part of revealing. For lack of a better term, I have, in a small way, I have figured out part of their code, and without giving away this information, because I'd rather keep it private. There's a totally different world that I'm working in. World as an investigative world. What I'm gonna say as much as I can without revealing too much. They have a method their method is to bring our reality into a Hollywood style mode, which I have said in several times in videos past. They want to bring our reality under a full control in Hollywood style in melodrama mode. And this is being accomplished through a numbering process. It's on a spiritual level. So in other words, the connection of the spirit realm, and this is just an opinion, the connection of the spirit realm as it manipulates the physical realm is used through numbers. This is why I believe the Lord said that he who has wisdom count the number of the man. 666. I'm just paraphrasing the well-known scripture. 666 is actually 369. It is the core. My opinion, 666 is the core of 369. Okay. You got 3 sixes, so there's your 3. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. There's your 369. You got 3 sixes and you got a 9 deciphered. There you go. The 666 is what the Lord referenced. He wants us to count these numbers. In other words, he wants us to decipher this. Not everybody is called to do it. Again, there's some people who completely dismiss this as nonsense. I recommend you not totally dismiss this concept, because I believe this is what is happening. This is the key to unraveling this gigantic lie. And I believe this will somehow affect the prompting of the appearance of Antichrist as he relates to the 10 kings, the 10 horns, to bring it into Mystery Babylon the Great. Now, why do I sound so, pardon the pun, hell-bent on destroying Mystery Babylon the Great, or seeing her destruction? Well, obviously, when she is destroyed, we are raptured. You've been following my theory on that, my interpretation of Revelation 17. We will be raptured, and the kingdom of heaven will come to earth. This should be the goal of a true believer. A true believer, he wants this to happen. This is the litmus test, basically. So briefly back to the whole subject matter of disasters, engineered disasters by the numbers. This whole Helene thing that has happened this year, September 2024, through October, early October, the aftermath right now. I'm going to play a short clip on this individual who was given allegedly real numbers of the carnage of North Carolina, the townships in North Carolina. And I'm going to come right back after I play this, and then I will follow up with that thought on the litmus test regarding Helene. I think Helene is very much so important, not to minimize the obvious death, but these things, this is all part of it. This is the birth pains before the baby's born. And that, as I have stated in the prior video, every region of the United States is going to go through something like this before the entire thing burns. In other words, our turn is coming. So I'm going to play this clip, and I will get back right after it.
Thousands of people have died in the storm here recently. Thousands, not hundreds. I called a friend up in Pennsylvania and I said, Jack, how many people died in the storm down here? And he says, well, I've heard about 250. I'm like, 250 people? That's all you know about? Jack, thousands of people have died in the storm. He said, well, let me Google it, you know. Oh, he says, well, I think it's up to somewhere, speculation, 300 to 350 people. Jack, there are 350 people in groups of dead bodies here. One morgue outside of Asheville has 1,000 dead bodies unclaimed. That's just one little spot. Jack, there's dead people all over the place. There's still people buried, half buried alive. There's people all over these mountains, strung up in trees and down in the ground, arms sticking out, bodies everywhere, rot, vultures flying over. Why do the people of this country and this world not understand? An extremely conservative number, extremely, would be between 3,000 and 7,000. It's more likely 10, 20, 30. One fella that's been flying around here a lot, he says he thinks 40. I'm like, I don't know about 40, but 20,000, I can really see that. Why are people just saying 200 or 300? What in the hell is that about? Can you not count? I mean, we've got piles and piles and piles of dead bodies. We've got 18-wheeler refrigerator trucks filled up with dead bodies. I don't know why, but I'd like for you to ask that question. Why? Why is there such a disparity between the reality of what I'm seeing here and what you're being told?
And you heard that gentleman, I can pronounce his name. You see his name there. His name is Eustace Conway. Or is it Eustace? Eustace. I think it's Eustace Conway. Talking about the Helene body count. I believe him. I am of the opinion that the media cannot give actual numbers. They can't tell real truth. They can tell partial truth. They expect you to connect the dots. If you looked into the destruction, you have to calculate how many townships are wiped out. And just do the math yourself. This man has done it for us. I believe he's hovering around the number. I think he will be settled on a 20,000, 20 to 30,000. It's insane. But this has happened before. We just haven't heard of it. Revelation 6:11. Okay, I'll just post that scripture. This is part of this process of the end times. It's as if the tribulation is happening now. Some are of the opinion that this is. Once engineered disaster strikes whatever region you're in or I am in, then yeah, that will be the tribulation. Ultimately, again, I play that clip to give people something to think about. Now back to the whole subject of Helene litmus test. This is a very important event where we are being evaluated. This is how I am putting this together. The reaction of the citizens are being evaluated on a spiritual level. How is our empathy towards this event? Are we ignoring it? Are we continuing on status quo? Divert my attention with the entertainment. Keep me happy. I'm going to do some sports betting. I'm going to win a bunch of money. I don't want to think about what happened in North Carolina and the other states. The Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia. Obviously, Florida gets nailed twice. Okay. I don't want to think about it. Our reaction is being evaluated. I believe it plays into the timeline on how fast Mystery Babylon will be destroyed. I believe the less empathy and interest that is shown from the remaining citizens regarding their fellow citizens being wiped out, the more they see the coldness and indifference, the quicker the timeline speeds up for our destruction. This is what I believe. I think this is why they are doing these preliminary destructive events to kind of get us ready. Okay. Yeah, look, they're not responding. These people, this system is completely trash. These individuals need to be done away with. They have no soul. There's no love here. The inhabitants of Mystery Babylon will be infested with devils and evil spirits, according to Revelation 18. 17 and 18, I believe it's chapter 18, it talks about it has become an habitation of evil spirits and devils and hateful birds, a cage of unclean and hateful birds. This will explain the whole sightings of cryptid creatures. I've had a recent encounter. My first encounter with a cryptid creature happened about 12 hours ago as I'm making this recording. I'm not going to say what the creature was. It wasn't a Sasquatch. Okay, this creature is, I believe it's known to be interdimensional. Across in front of the road at a basically it sidestepped. It was on all fours. Gray in color. Connect the dots on what that could be. I saw that October 24th. Early morning hours, a rideshare delivery. I believe my passenger saw it, but she didn't want to admit it. And I hit the brake after I saw this thing cross the road. I said, "Did you see that?" And she goes, "No." She said no. Typically, when you ask someone, you hit the brake and you're their passenger, the driver hits the brake and he asks you, "Did you see that?" And if you didn't see it, you're going to say, "See what? What did you see?" You're going to inquire, "What did you see?" "I didn't see anything." She just said no, which tells me that she saw what I saw, and I think she was just couldn't process it. Because I wound up saying, since she said no, which in my mind, that wasn't the right answer, I said, well, it wasn't a deer and it wasn't human. Okay. All right. So moving past that, I brought that up because I believe as we draw closer to the end time for Mystery Babylon the Great, more revelation, more manifestations of cryptid creatures will occur. As it's like the veil, the barrier between the spirit realm and the physical realm gets easier to cross. And at the time we are destroyed, that barrier, I believe, would be completely removed. And it would be the duty of the 10 kings and the beast to destroy this infested area of the world, which happens to be where we reside, United States of America, will be burned in 1 hour. Now, again, the litmus test The whole 369 combination, I said I was going to go over my calculator, how I was kind of playing with the combination of 369. Not that it matters. I'm just kind of showing these images of what you can do with the 369. You added the three numbers, you multiply the three numbers, you divided three numbers, and they seem to come back and repeat themselves. It's like a manifestation of one of the three, in other words. So with all this, all this information I'm giving out, my main message is, as time goes on, we're going to have some real peaceful periods, and there's going to be some joyous occasions coming up. But looming in the near future, in my opinion, is keep your mind, if you can, on the number 1290, 1,290 days, as the Bible speaks of in the book of Daniel. This is the number of days that will pass after the daily sacrifices are stopped. 1,290 days. That deciphers as 39 or 93. There you go. There's your combination of the 369. That number is very important. It's a countdown. It's a number between two dates. 1,290 days. If the daily sacrifices have indeed stopped, it would obviously all depend on what your interpretation of the daily sacrifices are. This countdown is underway. It's underway. We don't have much time left, is what I'm trying to tell you. I think a lot of people already know that. Okay, with all that being said, I hope this information has been helpful. I try to be meaningful in my videos. I don't like to just do random stuff just for the fun of it, because this is not fun, but yet it is exciting to know that we're getting closer and closer to the invasion from heaven of the Lord Jesus and his army to rapture his believers. Will become a part of that army to destroy this evil system. But one thing for sure, USA Inc. is on the brink of destruction. Is on the brink of destruction. Okay, may the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ be with us all.